All right, we'll start out with the article. Guys, I just so you know, for the TV channel, even maybe for the main channel, the podcast, Week in Review probably won't touch on this too much. I'm not going to let this thing die, right? I'm going to keep going on it for at least a little while because this has crossed a lot of people's lines. My line was crossed a long time ago. I've been on the, I guess, the right side of this for a really long time, at least in my opinion, obviously. I think my opinions are the right ones, as you think your opinions are the right ones as well. And we're obviously going to be free to disagree if we do. But this flight blade thing and the bomb stuff and the selling guns for your ships and your weapons and all these things has crossed the line for a lot more people than ever before. And it's on PC Games. They've made an article about it. They love shitting on Star Citizen, and usually I think that they're completely misinformed and dog shit, but we'll see. I'm sure they're going to be completely misinformed, biased, and dog shit in this, but it's going to be hard to not be on the wrong side of this one. So let's check this one out. Once again, an article from PC Games. New Star Citizen flight blades spark major backlash against Cloud Imperium. The new Star Citizen flight blades are controversial, owning to their real money price and perceived pay-to-win advantage they provide. So this was published 2 hours ago by Ed Smith. I feel like I remember hearing about this guy in a Montoya video. I don't think Montoya likes him because, again, probably just a hater and clickbait kind of shit or whatever, but it is what it is. Star Citizen deserves it a lot of the time. New Star Citizen update introduces an extra item that players of the space game can use to adjust the performance of their ships. Flight blades are currently purchasable only for real money, in the words of Star Citizen's developer Cloud Imperium game. I'm saying only. Allow a user to fine-tune the behavior of their ship to align with how they fly, fight, and operate. The studio, which has already raised upwards of $800 million in crowdfunding for Star Citizen, explains that flight blades will eventually be obtainable using the game's virtual in-world currency. And it was like at a later date, and then it was changed to this summer, which is just, absolute scumbaggery. But as of right now, they will only be bought for real money, and the perceived advantage they provide has catalyzed a sharp backlash from Star Citizen players. Now, the thing is the perceived advantage doesn't exist. There apparently is very little advantage to these. Most people are saying that. I know Zero State tested them on his live stream, and maybe I'll leave a link to his live stream down below so you guys can look back at the VOD and check it out. That would have been on May 15th, the VOD for that. He was finding that it was more than just the stats on Urkel. It was, significant strength in acceleration and other things. So it wasn't just plus 10 meters per second. It was a more significant advantage, but most people didn't know that. It was, I think, like this article is saying, like, looking at it, it's just a gain and advantage thing, and we don't like that, right? Star Citizen flight blades are an additional component that can be applied to a number of different ships. There are two types, one that increases speed and one that increases maneuverability. The cost of the flight blades varies depending on which ship they're being used for, with the cheapest price set at $9.60. This just depends on where he lives. That's not the actual base price for these. And the most expensive at $42. There's tax applied to that. So that's not the price of them. But yeah, at the moment, the only way that flight blades can be purchased is with real money, although Cloud Imperium says they will be available by using this in-game UEC currency, which may be earned by completing missions in the summer. While flight blades allow players to tune their ships in the space game, Cloud Imperium says they do not provide a straightforward overall advantage, instead of allowing users to trade off one characteristic of their craft for another. Everyone likes the idea of flight blades. I think, like, it's kind of a cool concept, right? I'm not going to say speak for everyone, but I think it's a cool concept. I'll speak for myself, obviously. I do that all the time, and I apologize for it. While using flight blades can boost one area, this is not a sentence, right? The developer says you'll see a reduction in another to balance things out. This isn't about chasing raw upgrades. It's about making meaningful changes and further dialing in your loadout to reflect your playstyle. Flight blades offer tuning flexibility, giving you more control over your ship's behavior. Yeah, blah, 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 right? You make decisions, and that's a good thing. But then you have to make a decision to buy it on the store for now, which is goofy. But yeah, I don't think we'll get to the actual point here because these guys don't play the game. They don't know it. They're just trying to go for the arguments here. The response to Flight Blades from Star Citizen's community, however, has been resoundingly negative. Cloud Imperium's official post announcing and outlining the new items have received 3,776 downvotes from readers compared to 141 upvotes. Players have also shared their response on the game's Reddit page. This is the most unhinged monetization pivot I've ever seen, one player says. Every last thing in this game is going to be paywalled if this is the direction. Now, bam, the word paywalled. Instant argument point for anybody who's going to defend the billion-dollar company. Because it's not paywalled. It's not going to be paywalled. When the game is actually released, none of it will be paywalled. It will be there, and you're able to buy it in-game, or you're able to buy it on the store. That's not the actual issue. The paywalling isn't the issue. It is an issue, but it is not the issue. The issue is the encroaching, the pay to win, or the pay to gain an advantage, or the pledge store period had this much impact. A very big one, buying spaceships. And then it got bigger. And then it got bigger. And then it got bigger. And then it got big. It's literally like here now. Like, how much further are you going? Like, how many things that would in any other MMO would be a gameplay mechanic and not on the store at all? How many of those things are going to be on the store, right? That's my argument. How many more things? When are you just going to make the fucking game and not have it be constant pledge store stuff? It's just annoying, right? That's just like, that's really where I'm at. It's just, it continually encroaches on gameplay, and the pledge store is not going to go away. So when the game's actually released, this pledge option is going to exist, right? While somebody else can play the game. And that's a significant problem for many reasons. Flight Blades being temporarily locked behind the pledge store sets a hilariously bad precedent, another one writes. As others have said, if this flies, then what's next? I've been along for the ride since the Kickstarter, and this is another instance of the company trying to monetize something that it really shouldn't. That's just such a simple statement to summarize everything that we have problems with. It's just, guys, you really shouldn't be doing this, right? It would be cool if you didn't do that, right? That would be cool. PC Games have contacted Cloud Imperium Games regarding the response. Yeah, good luck with that. You can follow us on Google News and blah, 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 blah. Okay. Thanks, Ed. But as usual, PC Games doesn't really know anything about the video game, so they're just going to take people's word for it or whatever, right? Like, the issue is the constant selling of things that would just like normally be in a video game. And then everyone going, well, they need to sell things, and we would not have the greatest Star Citizen ever if they didn't sell things. And it's like a chicken before the egg argument. Like, the reason they're doing this is because they literally cannot make the game in the iteration that it exists now, right? Like, you just can't. So they keep having to sell out, sell more, FOMO, this, that, every possible marketing tactic that they possibly can to try to make the game that they said they were going to, that they literally cannot. Or they cannot in a reasonable amount of time. Therefore, they have to continue to buy themselves more time to try to be able to do it, right? And that's been the problem, is all the priorities have been focused in the wrong places to make Star Citizen or get it done, and then they have to do things like this. It's as simple as that, but whatever. That article was, pretty basic and vanilla, I would say. It's just like, oh yeah, by the way, people are mad. Oh, okay, cool. We know. Nothing new here.